young, cocky, and overconfident. And it was all because his status as a privileged son and great favoritism was shown to him. His brothers had come to the realization that he needed riddance. But you're just a little kid. What could you have done? Wait, what? What could you have done to deserve such harsh treatment? Man, what did you do? Oh, that's what you did? Okay, but what kind of dream could you have told that showed favoritism? You simply had a dream about your entire family bowing down to you. Does it sound familiar? It's your boy, Joseph. So you're cool. So you go out for a walk in your epic coat. So you hurry over to your brothers, vroom. And you get there like, hey man, what you guys doing? Talk for a little while, you eat some lunch, probably Chick-fil-A, I don't know. Yeah. So you're having a good time, but when you go back, when you're driving back to the house where you live at, you're like, hey dad, yeah son, my brothers, yeah, they stole a lemonade from Chick-fil-A. You need to punish them. The father of the brothers then scolded them, but if you look closely, Joseph was as happy as could be, not in trouble whatsoever. During this entire time, Joseph was very boastful, how he coolly got out of the affair with getting in trouble. Let's just say he was boasting. But as the scriptures say, let the one who boast in the Lord. 2 Corinthians 10:17. Although the coat may not have been the reason Joseph's brothers schemed to have him sold off, many theologians and scholars think that it was his fascinating dreams. Although I think that me and the theologians both share the same belief on this one. I think it was the dreams that caused the brothers to revolt. But guess who just starts to come in? The wandering traders. Congrats! You just got sold to the Egyptians for 20 pieces of silver. Joseph, once the first, now became the last. And that's pretty fitting because look at this awesome Bible verse found in Matthew 20:16. So the last will be first, and the first will be last. And look at this one in Luke 9:48. When I am least among all, I am great in God's sight. Okay, so you've now been kidnapped to Egypt. No big deal. Egypt's pretty small. Egypt? Yeah, and we're talking all the purple is its actual colonies. The other colors, they're just their puppet states. Like, no. No. Not those puppets. Sorry, Kermit. We're talking about empire-wise here. Hello. You're for sale now. You're for sale. All right, sold to that man in the back. We do PayPal. Congrats, you've just been sold. Now just let me get something straight here. Joseph wasn't sold to a shabby family and a terrible house to live in. He was sold to a very high royal advisor and officer in all of Egypt. Pretty nice house too, complete with a swimming pool, of course. Okay, so you're being a slave, all is well, You're working for your master, you know. Yeah, he's trusting you, you know. You become a very important part of the household. So, good job. But behind your back, Potiphar's wife is scheming. Now, what should be... What did I just say? She's scheming behind your back. Now, what should she be scheming about? Finally, I got it. What should she be scheming about? You'll soon find out.
6.5 hours later.
Gasp. Yikes. So, Potiphar's wife, she kind of just tricked you into something. You know, she was trying to make you do something bad. And you said no, like a good man. But not so good, you let her grab your coat, which is a good sign, or maybe possibly a proof that you did the wrong thing. So Potiphar's wife won, but Potiphar isn't happy with you at all. He throws you in prison. Nothing is looking good for you whatsoever. You made a big mistake, buddy. Okay, so you've just been locked up in prison. This isn't very good, but you can work it out, right? Of course you can. You're Joseph. You've survived much worse. You've gotten sold off into slavery. Everything will be fine. Okay, maybe not so nice. I mean, there's hard labor, but everything's all right. You know, the occasional riot, the constant sad prisoners becoming crazy, gambling, everyone losing money. Let me think about it here. It's definitely not the best neighborhood. But Joseph made it work. He was a peacemaker through all this. He told the Bible to other inmates. He interpreted dreams, which actually got him out of prison. Well, we'll talk about later. We'll talk about it later. But even in the worst of situations, he still showed a good heart attitude, which is pretty good.
6.5 hours later.
Woohoo! I'm out of prison. I get to go to the royal palace. Let's go.
6.5 hours later.
Aha. You'll never guess what. I just interpreted a dream for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. I predicted there's going to be 7 years of prosperous crops, and there's going to be 7 years of drought. I'm awesome. This is all for the glory of God. Couldn't have done it without you, Jesus. You're epic. This is so cool. Let's go. Rags to riches, baby. Because guess who just got promoted to second in command to Egypt after I found out that dream? Joseph, the epic Jesus dream interpreter. Thank you, Lord. This is cool. So, of course, there was the good harvest. And, of course, there was going to be the bad harvest. So, they have some pretty good storage, pretty good storage for the famine. The famine comes, and you're fine. So just imagine, okay? Imagine. You were awesome. Favoritism was shown to you. You had an awesome rainbow-colored coat. Everything was good. You got thrown into slavery. Next thing comes along, you get tricked. Bad things happen. You get thrown in prison. But favoritism is showed to you again. The Egyptian ruler, Pharaoh, lets you interpret his dream, all by the power of God helping you. And look at this. You just saved all of Egypt from famine, all of its provinces, which, mind you, is a lot. But that's not all. The brothers were once reunited again. It all happened like this. The 11 brothers, excluding Benjamin, come in and they beg for grain. They get the grain. They come back the next year, this time with Benjamin. This time, your boy Joseph has a trick up his sleeve and is holding a feast for them. Now, the youngest brother, Benjamin, who's around 11 or 12 or 13, we don't really know, but he was pretty young, he gets the largest portion. And the older brothers, like Thomas and the other guys, and Judah, they don't get a lot of food, you know? They're pretty hungry, which is kind of sad, but that's a part of the plan. And all of the brothers, they drink out of silver cups. Now, since they were Joseph's, you have to return them. But Joseph placed one of these silver cups in young Benjamin's bag. So when Joseph was missing one of the 12 cups, he sent chariots running after Benjamin and the brothers. Benjamin gets captured, or aka arrested, and he gets brought back to the presence of Joseph. Now, since he's arrested and under the royal command of Joseph, he could be killed, thrown in prison, or even worse, banished out of the country. But this is when Joseph reveals, well, guess what? I'm Joseph. I was thrown in prison here, but I interpreted Pharaoh's dreams all by the power of God. You thought me dead, but God had different plans for me. They were all pretty scared. They now could be killed. So it's pretty understandable. But Joseph, he wanted the brotherhood back together. He showed kindness. And the family was reunited. Of course, Jacob was happy to see Joseph, and all was well. They resided in Egypt for the rest of their life, and it was all because of a dream. The verse of the day: let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. 2 Corinthians 10:17.